Okay, so I've taken everything out of the box. Turns out I need Denise's help with arts and crafts to cut this template because I found out by looking at the oven in the kitchen over there that everything doesn't line up, like the mounting holes, which are right here, which have a screw that goes down in it from the cabinet above. Well, on the one that's actually in the kitchen, it actually is over here. So that means I need to drill new holes, but it's easy enough if you get the template out and you cut it correctly.
Easier, but I'm too lazy to get up and find my box cutter.
Do you have a box cutter?
Yeah.
She said it's hard, but a box cutter would be easier. But, oh my gosh, whoa. Okay, so here is the old microwave setup install. I've cleared out the cabinet. Today I'm gonna try to get all this done. This has some screws, 1, 2, 3. I think the new one only has 2 that actually hold this unit into place. And when you loosen them, which I've already started to do, okay, if you loosen them enough, you need to have a helper down here to grab the microwave unit from you, because it's gonna drop down. It's gonna give way from here and it's gonna go down. It's gonna only be resting on the back bracket. So I need to clear all the stuff out underneath, and I need to have a helper to pull it out. And then I need to get my template. The template is cut from this box as part of the box, and it's going to allow me to know exactly where to drill the holes, which do not line up with the unit that's on the way out. They're different. So basically with this, once I get it up on the ceiling and get it up like this on the back wall, D and E are going to be the 2 holes I need to drill to mount in the cabinet, which don't line up with what I have. So I'm going to have 3 other holes in the cabinet. And then this one goes up on the back wall and shows you where to put the holes in the back wall here and here for the bracket, which is probably also going to be different. So here is the bracket that's going to hold the new microwave on. You can see how these holes just line right up. See, so that one's there. You move across, and the other one's here. Something I want to mention on this old unit, which I need to take care of and monitor on the new unit, is these filters for the vent, which you want to use, and you want to clean them. And I've never cleaned them. You can just run them in the dishwasher, I think. And unfortunately for the new one, I think I only have 1, but it would be nice to have a backup so you can take the other one and run it in the dishwasher while your backup is in the unit. Here's what a clean filter looks like. Before we get into all this stuff, this is vented to the outside, so underneath here on the new microwave, we need to make some adjustments. You can see right here, it's all closed, so it's kind of set up for recirculating venting. We need to open it up so it vents to the outside. That was for wall venting, but we are doing roof venting, so we need to set it up. I wouldn't be surprised if the old one, they never did this. I could see how I can easily overlook this, because you basically got these snap out panels that have to be snapped out so that the air flows to your outdoor vent. They're right here. We need to take this panel off. So when you take those screws off, this thing kind of pops up. There's the blower motor. These are the things that need to be snapped out. So we're gonna have to raise this up like it says, and then as you can see, the blower motors, there's 2 of them in here. The exhaust is actually not facing up. So we need to pull this whole unit out, disconnect, loosen these screws, pull it out, and then reinstall it so that the blower motors are forcing the air out to the outside ductwork. So these screws are recessed in here. Hopefully I won't drop them. Thankfully, at least this one came right out. Next, we disconnect this electrical connection right in here. And once that's done, the entire lower unit just comes out. That's it. So if you ever have to replace it, it's not that difficult. So it's telling me to snip these out with pliers that I don't have, but you can see you can almost get it going with your fingers. See, it's not in there too tough, but just be careful, you don't get hurt. I need to put this down so I have 2 hands. you can see what I did here. I basically just ended up whacking this one with a hammer from the outside and broke most of it away, and the rest of it will go away soon, and then just do the same thing on the other side. Careful, some of these things have sharp edges. I've already cut my finger a little bit. All right, then you turn the motor over like this, and that's how it goes in. So it's gonna push the air up through these holes and outside, and then make sure you connect over here. Okay, so now when this goes down, the air is going to blow out and up. Put the screws on. Oh, also don't forget the blower screws as well. All right, time to take this out. Okay, well, I managed to get off myself. It was tough. These 3 screws, like I said, there's 3 holes in there. And there's a hole for the electrical, and there's a hole for the vent. And you can see there's 3 brackets here on this one. I think the one I've got only has 1, and it doesn't match up with this. It's a different style. Hopefully it matches up with where the studs are. And I'm assuming that these are put in where the studs are. I hope so. You can see this also has a little bracket and some adjustment on it so that it matches up with what's above, and it is missing here. This part of the fan doesn't blow air through it, I guess. Oh well. Interesting that they installed this using drywall screws. That doesn't really handle this kind of load. Something this old microwave doesn't have is this flapper, but I don't know if I'll even be able to use it really. It just barely fits in there, and it's got to push that up all the way in order for the vent to work. Another thing you should have, because we've had electrical problems, is a surge protector. I'm gonna put it in right now. All right, at least this comes with some lag screws. And this is easy enough to put up. See, I gotta put 1 lag screw there, 1 lag screw there. Hopefully it matches up with the studs, hopefully. Well, I found that by drilling in, this one is not on a stud, but this one is, so that's good. We'll put this one in first. That's going in. I may need to drill it out a little bit more. It's getting tough to turn it. For this one, I'll just go right down the line and see if one of these hit. Hopefully this next one will hit a stud. Well, unfortunately, there's nothing behind here. I don't know what was holding these screws in because they weren't attached to anything. I'm gonna have to put a hollow wall anchor, which is included on this one. Here it is. I just need to drill a big enough hole so that this thing basically will go in. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to take the opportunity to drill this hole out, make it a little bit wider. Not too wide, just wide enough so it's easy enough to drive it in there. And this one has to be much, much wider, even bigger than this drill bit. Making a mess, and there, it barely fits in there now. So what I gotta do is put this in around this, wrapped around here, and then push it into the wall. You have one chance. So I take this apart, put this through the front and this in the back, and connect it. All right, so it should hopefully fit in like that. Okay, it's in. We gotta put some tension on it while I tighten this. And it should draw it closer and hold it snug. And then that one's gonna stud on that end. Just make it level after that. See, it's already pulling it in. All right, so that one's tight finally. This one's tight, got the level on it. Doesn't look level compared to this, but I guess there's a lot out of level in this place. Now that that's done, I'm gonna pre-drill the 2 holes for the top, which are marked over here, these 2 places. This is easy enough to drill through. There's not much support under this cabinet. Most of the weight is held on by this thing. That's why it's got to be secured into a wall stud, which I can't believe the other one wasn't, but I see all kinds of weird things. Okay, so I am gonna need this to bridge the cabinet gap here underneath the cabinet, but I'm a little bit concerned about this. I can take this off, and I might just take it off and just screw this right down onto the metal so it fills that gap in. Take this off, because if this isn't open all the way, the airflow is not going to be good. Even if it does block it on the way down, it could be a major problem. All right, so I measured this. This is about 10 inches, 10 inches, 1.5 inches. Everything lines up. I even bent this thing back so it bridges that gap a little bit more. And hopefully that's going to be what it needs. And we're not going to have that flap in there. That's all. All right, so I took the wire up. It required a lot of finesse. I got the 2, basically those things sticking out attached to the back on the latch over there, and got this one in. This took a lot of figuring out too. I had to drop it down 1 time or 2. Same with this one, which is a little bit angled. A little finesse in pushing it in, make sure it's tight up against here. And ready to plug it in and test it out. All right, so the fan, it's going, little to no leaks, and it's got 4 speeds. I highly recommend. That's the medium, low. That's what we want, low. A lot of these microwaves do not have a low setting. This is nice and quiet, and it still sucks the air. Oh, I forgot to put the filter in. Let me do that. Okay, filter's in now. Okay, it works. All done.